Operator, can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robson.
One of the criteria of a good story is that the characters change for better or worse during its telling. We submit the following as an example, with the pious hope that its moral may reach the heart of any who needs it. Listen then, as Miss Kathy Lewis stars in The Bridge, which begins in just a minute.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Joe, honey.
Hi, Daphne. Where you been?
Out. Do you love me?
Sure, I love you a lot.
A whole lot?
All right, what did you buy?
Well,
Come on, you never start a conversation like that unless it involves money.
I bought a hat.
Oh, how much did it cost?
It was a real bargain.
How much?
$7.
Well, that's not too much. It could have been worse.
Sweetheart.
Oh, no. What else?
Well, when I bought the hat, I needed shoes and a handbag to go with it, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
And I found just the right one.
How much?
$21.50. And that's for both of them.
$21.50. And $7 more for a hat? That's some bargain, that hat.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're lucky we got the payroll savings plan. A bond every payday is one way to make sure we save something.
Gee, honey, you're smart to invest in them. They pay you $4 for every 3.
And it's a good thing for us they do.
Can you ever forgive me?
I guess.
Oh, you're so sweet. Why are you so sweet to me?
I'm no fool. Come here, you.
Oh, Joe.
And now, The Bridge, starring Miss Kathy Lewis. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Saturday night in Westchester. The party is at George and Laura's tonight. But it's the same party as it was last Saturday at the Kincaids and the Saturday before at Millie and John's. The same people doing the same thing. The husbands haven't seen each other since they came up from New York last night on the 505. And they may not have another reunion until the 849 picks them up at Chappaqua Monday morning. The wives have been adjourned since yesterday's PTA meeting and will not reconvene until the community theater luncheon at the country club day after tomorrow. The kids are presumably asleep in a score of homes watched over by a TV-watching babysitter with or without dates. Saturday nights in Westchester. Togetherness in Westchester.
Hey, Liz, what are you doing over here in the corner all by your little self?
Thinking?
Never heard of such a thing. How about a fresh drink?
No, thanks.
Come on, Liz, live a little.
I'm fine.
Dance? Well, that's about all a host can offer with a guest's husband in the room.
I doubt if he'd notice.
Huh?
Who is she, George?
She? Who?
That girl dancing with my husband.
Oh, aren't you being pretty possessive about old Max?
She makes me feel possessive. Who is she?
You met her when you got here.
Don't be obtuse, George. Now answer my question.
Well, her name is Edith Elwood. Works for the competition, Marlin Advertising. Been there about 3 months.
Funny. Max has never mentioned her.
Oh, why should he? Must be 100 others like her on Madison Avenue.
That pretty? She married?
Gave it up. That's why she's working.
Oh. George, have you ever seen them together?
Huh?
You know, lunch, cocktails?
Hey, what is this, a third degree?
He calls her Edie. I heard him.
Well, you know how it is. We're always taking people to lunch. It's part of the business.
I see. Thanks for telling me, George.
Well, for heaven's sake, Liz, I haven't said anything.
You've said enough.
Now, look, Liz, don't you go getting any crazy ideas. Now, where you going?
Out. I need some fresh air.
Yeah, but it's raining cats and dogs out there.
What difference does it make? I seem to be all wet anyway.
stand close to me under this awning. You won't get wet.
Like this, Max?
Mm-hmm. Like this.
Oh, I adore the rain. So rainy.
It was raining the day we met. Remember, Edie?
Yeah. In front of 485, you stepped off a curb practically up to your knees.
That's because I was looking at you instead of where I was going.
Oh, you poor boy. You caught an awful cold.
Now, isn't that just like a woman? I'd forgotten all about it. Hey, somebody else out here.
Where?
Speak up. Friend or foe?
It's me, Max.
Oh, Liz. What the devil are you doing out here by yourself?
Would it be all right if I were out here with someone else?
Perhaps I'd better go back inside.
Edie, wait a minute.
Is your wife getting in your way, Max?
Now, what kind of a remark is that?
I couldn't help overhearing.
Oh, that was just party talk.
Was it? I remember that cold. I remember it very well. It almost turned into pneumonia.
I'd forgotten.
I haven't.
What's the matter with you tonight? You've barely been civil to people all evening, and now you're out here moping by yourself.
I'm sorry, Max. I've been thinking.
Thinking what?
The times you've called recently to say you had to work late. How long it's been since you've asked me to have lunch with you in town.
You know I've got 2 new accounts to worry about, in addition to all...
She's beautiful.
What? Who's beautiful?
Edith. Or as you call her, Edie.
Liz, I'm not going to stand out here in the rain and defend myself against such ridiculous...
Then don't, Max.
Now, look, Liz. George drove Edith over here this evening. I didn't.
But you sure would like to drive her back, wouldn't you?
Well, as a matter of fact, she lives only a couple of miles from us, and I did offer to give her a lift.
Oh, Max. Max.
All right, Liz. I'll tell George he'll have to take her home. Anything to keep peace in the family.
It's up to you, Max.
I don't know what I'd have done if you hadn't given me a lift, Max, with this rain and all.
Oh, no trouble at all, Edie. Edith.
Max tells me you don't live very far from us, Miss Elwood.
Yes, that's right. I was very fortunate to find a house right on the river.
I should think an apartment in town would be more convenient to your work.
Yes, but I just love to be outdoors. And if I do say so myself, I have a green thumb with roses.
Max is good with roses, too. I get stuck myself.
Sorry.
Please slow down a little.
I'm only doing 35.
Oh, that's too fast for this narrow, twisty road in the rain. And there's that bridge at the bottom of the hill.
Liz, will you pipe down and let me do the driving? Or maybe you would rather walk.
Maybe I would.
I think you're a wonderful driver, Max.
I didn't say he wasn't. But you don't know this road like I do.
And neither of you know it as well as I do. I could drive down this hill with my eyes closed.
Max! Max, look out!
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
How can heroism be acknowledged and symbolized? Recognition of outstanding heroism takes the form of America's supreme military decoration, the Medal of Honor. It is awarded to those members of the United States Armed Forces who distinguish themselves conspicuously by gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life, above and beyond the call of duty, in action involving actual conflict with an enemy. For recipients in the Army and Air Force, the medal is a gold-finished bronze star with the head of the ancient goddess Minerva in the center. A laurel wreath in green enamel surrounds the 5-pointed star, which is suspended by 2 links from a bar bearing the inscription, Valor, and surmounted by an eagle with wings outstretched. The ribbon pad directly above is light blue, with 13 white stars arranged in the form of a triple chevron. the President of the United States is the only government official authorized to present the Medal of Honor. The award is made by the Commander-in-Chief in the name of Congress, thus accounting for why this highly esteemed decoration is sometimes incorrectly referred to as the Congressional Medal of Honor. Only a very small number of the many millions of U.S. Armed Forces personnel, past and present, have been presented this great symbol of courage to which free men can aspire, the Medal of Honor.
And now, starring Miss Kathy Lewis, Act Two of The Bridge.
We're alive. We're still alive.
Look!
The river. Must be 40 feet down there.
And we're hanging right over it.
We're going to fall. Any second, we're going to fall.
I'm sorry it's all my fault, Liz. If I hadn't been driving like an idiot.
We're alive. That's all that matters. Max.
Yeah.
Look, the headlights. They're dimming.
Short, probably. There they go.
So
Let
dark.
me out here. I've got to get out.
Edith, stop it. Keep your hands off that door. There's nothing under you but water.
There's a car coming. Across the bridge.
They'll see us. Oh, they've got to see us. We're down here. We're down here.
They can't see us, Edith. We're hanging at least 10 feet below the floor of the bridge.
Come back. Come back.
They couldn't have seen us even if our lights had been working.
There'll be another one come along.
We're falling.
Oh, we're not. We slipped a little, but whatever we're caught on is still holding. There's a flashlight in the glove compartment. You're closest to it, Edith.
I don't know where to look. It's so dark.
Here. I'll get it.
Let me have it, Liz. I'll see if I can tell what's holding us. Nothing to hang on to out here.
Oh.
The cement abutment. Absolutely smooth.
Let's try the other side. Edith, you're closest to the window.
What's that? On my hand.
Looks like blood. Your nose is bleeding.
My nose. No. No, I'm hurt. It's broken. I'm sure it's broken. I'll be disfigured.
It's just a nosebleed. Now take this light. See if there's anything out your side we can hang on to.
So dark out here, I can't see anything. Oh.
What was that?
I dropped the flashlight. I couldn't help it. I'm hurt. I'm in shock.
You just have a nosebleed.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Edith, hysterics aren't going to get us out of here.
Whatever's holding us must be under the back wheels. We'd better climb into the back seat and reduce the strain. I'll go first. Not the heaviest. All right, you're next, Edith.
I can't. No, I can't.
You pull, I'll push.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Now, give me your hand, Liz. Up you come.
It held. Thank God it held. Thanks.
Think of some way to...
Do you smell something?
Yes, I was hoping you wouldn't notice it.
Gasoline?
Yes. With the car tipped at this angle, the tank's leaking.
Gasoline. We'll catch fire. We'll burn up.
Not if we're careful.
I'm getting out. I've got to get out.
Stop it, Edith. Sit down.
Let me go.
Sit down or I'll slug you.
Max.
See what you've started, Edith?
Hold. Oh, please, hold.
It's caught again.
For how long? It'll slip again and then we'll all be drowned.
Shut up, Edith. Shut up!
a moment, we continue with the third act of Suspense.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Joe. Joe. Joe.
Yeah. I'm up. Forget breakfast. I'll shave at work.
Joe, it's not time to go to work.
Then why'd you wake me up?
You were snoring.
How about that?
You were snoring loud.
Oh, really?
I just wanted to quiet you.
I thought I was quiet.
You sounded like a buzzsaw going through a pine knot.
Pretty good. I wish I could be with you at 2:30 in the morning.
You can go back to sleep now.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You can get a good night's sleep, too. Our savings bonds will protect us.
Huh?
The money we invest is used to protect our country and its freedoms. Why, all around us we can see the safeguards that our bonds have paid for.
How about that?
So, you see, when you buy that savings bond with every paycheck, you're really investing in a secure night's sleep.
Not in this house, I'm not.
What?
Good night, Daphne.
Good night, Joe.
And now, starring Miss Kathy Lewis, Act 3 of The Bridge.
How long have we been here, Max?
I don't know. An hour. 2, maybe.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Sit. Wait.
Wait for what? To be drowned?
Listen. Here comes another car.
When it's right above us, let's try yelling all together as loud as we can. Now get ready. Now.
Help! Help! Help me! Help! Help me! Please help me!
Save your breath, Edith. They didn't hear us.
They've got to hear us.
No, they didn't. We just have to wait for the next one.
Wait for the next one. I'm too scared to wait for the next one.
So am I, Edith. I've never been so scared in my life.
Well, why don't you show it then?
What good would that do?
We've got to face it.
What, darling?
Those cars up there will never be able to hear us over the sound of their motors. We've got to wait for one that's coming from the same direction we were.
What do you mean?
Every car that's passed has been coming from the opposite direction. They can't see the hole in the guardrail where we went through. But a car coming down that hill the same way we were would pick it up in their headlights.
Somebody's got to come along, sooner or later.
Let's hope it's sooner. It'll be too late.
Max, I have an idea. Couldn't we break open the back window and then we could climb out over the trunk?
Break it with what?
Well, here, my shoe.
That safety glass, Edith. It'll take a ball-peen hammer to crack it.
Oh.
Max, how is the window put in?
Got a metal strip all around it, held with screws.
Could this strip come out if you remove the screws?
Probably, but they take a special screwdriver. And we haven't any screwdriver.
I have a nail file in my purse.
Nail file. It might work on a Phillips screw.
Here we are. Is it working?
I could tell better if I had a flashlight.
Sorry, Max. I said I was sorry. Got an idea. My cigarette lighter.
Are you out of your mind? You smell like gasoline?
I forgot.
Well, remember,
I was just trying to help.
the best way you can help is to stop having ideas.
Don't, Max. She can't help it.
You can help it. I don't hear you going into hysterics. No, it won't work, Liz. The file's too soft. Just bends.
At least it'll be light soon. And someone's sure to find us.
If it's not too late.
What do you mean?
Look, girls, there's no use kidding you. Every time a car goes over the bridge, whatever's holding us gives a little. Maybe you didn't notice it. The last time was the worst.
But it will hold. It's got to.
I wouldn't bank on it. Now, you kids lean back as far in the car as you can to balance my weight.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to roll up the front windows
Why?
in case we go into the drink.
Oh, Max, no.
Now these rear windows. You get the one on your side, Liz. Now listen to me carefully. I don't know how deep the water is underneath us. But with these windows closed, we'll have a couple of minutes after we hit to get our breath and our bearings. If the water's shallow, we may be above the surface and we'll have no problem. If we're completely submerged, we'll have to roll down the windows, let the car fill up, and then swim out.
No, I can't.
You can't what?
I can't swim.
Listen, I hear a car.
Yeah. This may be the one that shakes us loose.
Oh.
Sit tight now.
I don't feel the bridge shaking.
Maybe he's coming down the hill the way we did.
He's stopping. He's seen us.
Maybe.
Hey! Hey down there!
It's George.
Roll down the window.
Liz! Max! Are you down there?
Yes, we're here. Edith, too.
Anybody hurt?
I'm hurt, George. You've got to get me out.
All right, sit tight till I break out a rope.
You better hurry, pal. This car may let go any minute.
Atta girl. Now, just a couple more feet, Edith.
I can't,
That's
George,
it.
I
Ah,
can't.
yes, you can. Here, give me your hand. How you coming, Liz?
Fine.
Need a hand?
No, I can make it.
You okay, honey?
Safe and sound.
That was a close one. How in the world did you ever come looking for us, George?
Oh, your babysitter got worried when you didn't get home. She phoned me.
Oh, bless her.
Are you all right? Yeah, Liz and I are fine. But you'd better get Edith to a hospital. She's had a nosebleed.
Come on, George, please take me away from this awful place.
Watch out for this truck.
Yeah, he's pounding to make the hill. They always do coming across the bridge.
George, flash your light down there.
Max, look.
There, but for the grace of...
Look, darling. It's sunk out of sight.
Deeper than I thought.
Well, pal, looks like you just lost yourself an automobile.
I almost lost a lot more than that tonight.
Huh?
George, will you please take me home?
Come on, George. You mustn't keep your date waiting.
My date?
Well, you brought her to the party, didn't you? It's only polite to see her home. Only, do you mind dropping Liz and me first? We're tired. We want to get to bed. Don't we, honey?
Suspense, in which Kathy Lewis starred in William N. Robeson's production of The Bridge, written by Alan Botzer and Mr. Robeson. Supporting Kathy Lewis in The Bridge were Virginia Gregg, Jerry Hausner, and Bill Quinn. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with another take.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
Grab a Coke, cup or bottle. Don't forget to Watchwaddle.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Memorial Bridge, written for Suspense by William N. Robeson.
It is officially called the Blackstone Overpass. But to me, it'll always be the Clara Adams Memorial Bridge, in tender memory of my late, unlamented, and mysteriously departed wife. Clara was not smarter than I was. She was just older and richer. And she never gave me an opportunity to forget it.
That you, Charlie?
Yes, dear.
What kept you?
I stopped by the overpass job.
You said you'd be home early.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to check on things over there. They're ready to pour the cement for the main bridge piers tonight.
That's nice.
Nice.
Yes, but it has nothing to do with the
She
fact
was
that you
wound
said
up.
you'd be home early.
She'd been building up this head of steam all day. And when she got like this, there was nothing to do but let her run down. I'd heard it all before, so I went into my room, washed up, and got into some comfortable clothes. When I'd finished, I joined her in the kitchen. She was still at it.
Charlie Adams. First you marry me and my money, and that sets you in business. Then you get John Ferran for a partner. Why, he's forgotten more about the construction business than you'll ever know. Yes, you're a lucky man, Charlie. Where would you be without my money and John's brains?
What are you doing in the kitchen?
It's Thursday.
Oh, maid's day off, huh?
That's right.
Nobody home but us, huh?
That's right, Charlie. Just you and me in our little honeymoon cottage. Scared, lover boy?
Scared?
But don't be. I won't expect you to act like a husband.
Why do you hate me?
Hate you? Oh, I don't hate you. Hate is an emotion. I don't feel anything for you.
Yeah, I know. Why? You got what you wanted, a husband, as you like to remind me, bought and paid for. Where do I fail you?
Shut up and hand me that spider.
Spider?
That iron skillet. Tonight the steak is going to be fried the way I like it. Well done.
Hey, it's heavy.
Of course it's heavy. It's cast iron.
Must weigh 5 or 6 pounds. Need 2 hands to manipulate it properly.
Stop swinging it like that and put it on the stove.
Too bad you don't hate me, Clara. Because I hate you.
Now stop it, I say.
It's too bad you don't feel anything for me, Clara.
Now stop it.
Couldn't you feel any emotion, Clara, before you die?
Oh.
Not even fear? You did, Clara. I believe you did. I believe you were scared. Just a little bit, weren't you? One doesn't kill every day of the week. It is, for most of us, a unique, once-in-a-lifetime experience. So, a state of mild shock is to be expected. Shallow breathing, things slightly out of focus. A strange kind of logic operating, such as something unpleasant in the house, get rid of it, stuff it into the back of the car, and get it out of the house. And somehow you find yourself out of the house and driving the car down the parkway without quite knowing why you're there or where you're going. And then, slowly, like in a dream, like it was happening to somebody else, you hear a siren somewhere. You look into the rear vision mirror, and you see the flashing red light. And there's nothing else to do but pull over to the curb.
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense.
Get the really light refreshment.
Sociable.
This is where I talk, eh? Get the really light refreshment. That's Pepsi-Cola, of course.
I just wanted to say be sociable, Charlie.
Of course, Kay. Be sociable. Have a Pepsi on the road or at home. It always refreshes without filling.
Charlie.
Pick up extra cartons now. Pepsi is so delicious it goes fast. That's why you should keep plenty of Pepsi on hand.
Oops. Maybe I'd better sing.
Be sure to say keep Pepsi handy.
Yes, Charlie. But the song says it sociably.
Be sociable, look smart, keep up to date with Pepsi. Drink light, refreshing Pepsi. Stay young and fair and debonair. Be sociable, have a Pepsi.
What Kay means is get plenty of Pepsi next time you shop.
Well, yes.
What is it, officer? What did I do wrong? I'm sure I wasn't speeding.
No, you're okay. But I just noticed the lid to your trunk's come unfastened. I'll fix it for you.
Oh, no. Don't bother. I'll do it myself. Need the key, probably. And there, under the friendly and helpful gaze of the officer, I fought to close the trunk lid of my car. And Clara fought back. Even in death, she fought me. In obstinate death, she lay in that luggage compartment and defied me to close the lid.
Looks like you got it packed too full.
Yeah, maybe I have at that. Yeah, that does it. Thanks, officer. Thanks. Evening, boss. Evening, Jerry. I thought I'd drop back and see how the concrete work's coming.
Well, we've poured 2 piers of the overpass bridge so far. We'll do this next one as soon as the men have had some chow.
Mixer's right in position, I see.
Yeah, she's all ready to go.
Well, you're doing a good job, Jerry. With you running the night shift, I think we'll have this job finished ahead of time.
That's what I'm aiming for, boss.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you? There's $100 in it for you for every day you bring it in ahead of schedule.
Oh, well, thanks, boss.
The Blackstone Overpass. It's hard to believe that a few months from now, this confusion of dirt mounds and concrete pillars will be carrying 1,000 cars an hour on an 8-lane roadway over the heads of another 1,000 or so cars an hour going the opposite way. Listen to me philosophizing and keeping you from your supper. Go on down to the shack with the gang and get your chow.
Well, if it's all right with you, Mr. Adams.
Oh, sure it is. Run along.
All right, then, I'll do that. I'm a little hungry.
Sure you are. Jerry.
Yes, sir.
You say this pier is ready to be poured?
Yes, sir, the mixer's in position. We'll be pouring after we eat. Would you like to wait around and watch?
I might do that, Jerry. And he was gone. Down the slope of dirt fill to the construction shack where the rest of the night shift was having their food. And I was alone with Clara on the Blackstone Overpass. But not quite alone. Behind me, the concrete mixer kept chunking away, turning slowly, agitating with elephantine thoroughness its huge load of pebbles and cement and sand. Tons of it. Enough of it to fill the forms of a bridge pillar 30 feet high. It was in position, Jerry had said, and all it was needed to dump its contents into the waiting form was a pull on a lever. Of course. Perfect. The perfect resting place for Clara. Here, her obstinate strength could do some good. She could hold up the Blackstone Overpass. It was a matter of seconds to unlock the trunk of the car. The construction shack was out of sight. It was dark. I was alone. I dragged the bony and stiff body of my ex-wife to the edge of the wooden forms and toppled her over the side. A yank at the lever. And that was the end of Clara forever and ever. And while the form was filling,
and the bridge pier taking shape, it first occurred to me that the Blackstone overpass had now become the Clara Adams Memorial Bridge. I went home to a quiet house, and the first peaceful night's sleep I'd had in years. Next morning, as I took my time over coffee and toast, I planned my next move. Clara's disappearance must be established, but how? Well, the surest way of launching a piece of gossip is to confide in a friend, especially a married friend. So I took my partner, John Ferran, to lunch, and I played distraught, distant, and preoccupied through 3 pre-prandial martinis.
What's the matter with you today, Charlie?
Huh?
You don't seem to be here. You're not with it. Something bothering you?
Oh, no, nothing special.
Ah, come on, Charlie. Don't try to kid Pappy.
John, can you keep a secret?
Why, sure. You know me, pal.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want this to get any further.
My lips are sealed.
A thing like this is embarrassing to talk about, and I wouldn't want it to be general knowledge.
Well, fire away, pal. I'm all ears.
John, I'm worried about Clara.
What's the matter? Is she giving you a bad time?
Oh, no. You know how it is with Clara and me. I'm her ever-loving honey lamb, and she's my little lump of sugar.
I may be sick.
Yeah. Well, that's the way she wants it, and that's the way it's going to be.
I gotta hand it to you, Charlie. You've been a model husband. And frankly, I don't see how you do it.
What do you mean?
Well, Clara isn't the easiest of women to get along with, from what I've seen.
Well, we all have our shortcomings, John. Only
what?
You promise you won't breathe this to a soul?
I already promised.
All right. John, it's this. Clara's disappeared.
What?
Yeah. Gone. Vanished into thin air.
When?
I don't know. Sometime yesterday. She wasn't home when I got in last night.
No note? Nothing like that?
No, nothing.
Had you had an argument with her?
No, everything was peaches and cream, as she'd say.
Maybe she went visiting her family.
She hasn't got any family.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Well, how about her friends?
What friends? The ones who warned her against marrying me. He's only after your money, Clara. Don't say I didn't warn you, Clara. Friends. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of knowing that my wife walked out on me.
How do you know she's walked out?
Well, I don't, but that's the way they'd interpret it.
Don't you think you'd better report this to the police?
I just said I don't want to be a laughingstock, didn't I?
Yeah, but...
Report it to the police. It gets in all the papers.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wouldn't worry, Charlie. She's okay. She's just going on a little trip or something. She'll be back safe and sound and sooner than you expect.
You think so, John?
Sure, I know so. Don't you worry.
I'll try not to. It's funny. I feel better just talking to you about it.
Sure you do.
Only remember, John, this is just between you and me. Don't breathe a word of it. Promise, pal?
I promise, pal.
Yeah, it was all over town, and thoroughly established that Clara had vanished sometime Tuesday. John's wife had done her job well. A little too well. Yes?
Mr. Adams?
Yes?
Lieutenant Watson, Police Department. May I come in?
Why, yes, certainly, Lieutenant. Please do.
Thank you.
Won't you sit down? I think you'll find that chair over there comfortable.
Thank you.
Well, now, what can I do for you?
I'm from the Missing Persons Bureau. We got a report your wife is missing.
Well, yes, in a way.
What do you mean, in a way?
Well, she isn't here, and I don't know where she is. Yes, I guess you could say she's missing.
How long has she been missing?
A little over a week. A week ago, Tuesday.
How come you didn't make a report to the police?
Well, I don't know. Each day that went by, I expected to hear from her.
Only you didn't.
That's right.
Any idea where she could have gone to?
If I did, I'd go find her, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I guess you would. Just walked out, did she?
I guess so. She didn't take a car, and she didn't take a cab.
How do you know?
Well, I checked the cab companies.
Oh. But you got to admit, it looks kind of suspicious.
Does it?
Mind if I look over the house?
Wouldn't do me much good if I did, would it?
Not much.
Well, it'd be my guest. Of course, he found nothing. There was nothing to find. But this didn't stop Lieutenant Watson. Failing to find any evidence of foul play in the house, he sought to find reason for it elsewhere. He dug into my background and Clara's background, and he came up with an interesting theory which happened to be the truth.
Mr. Adams, I think you killed your wife.
Indeed? Why would I do such a thing, Lieutenant?
The usual motive, money.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. You married her for her money. You insured her heavily. Of course, you can't collect on that until you prove she's dead.
And you can't accuse me of killing her until you prove she's dead.
Oh, I'm quite aware of that. Nevertheless, I'm convinced you did it.
How, Lieutenant?
I don't know, but don't suppose you'd tell me, huh?
Spoil all your fun. You're reconstructing the crime.
Yeah, that's just it. I'll have to admit to you there's no evidence of a crime. Mrs. Adams has just vanished, that's all.
So, without any evidence of a crime, why not assume that there isn't any?
But people don't just vanish.
My wife did.
Not without help.
You'd have to prove that.
I know.
And you can't?
Frankly, no.
Then may I suggest you go away and leave me alone?
All right, Mr. Adams, but with me, out of sight is not out of mind.
What do you mean?
Murder, it is said, will out.
Come on, Lieutenant. How corny can you get?
We'll see, Mr. Adams. We'll see.
In just a moment, we will return for the concluding act of Suspense.
Now, here are Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Charlie, where have you been?
Well, it's a long story, Bergen. Remember, you said you wanted the car lubricated.
I said I wanted a Guardian maintenance lubrication. Like all Chevrolets, Pontiacs, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, Cadillacs, and Chevy and GMC trucks, our car deserves the best of service. And that means Guardian maintenance at our dealer service department.
Yes, well, I drove our car to our dealers without an accident.
Oh?
Most of the way.
Charlie, where's the car now?
It's on Main Street between 4th and 5th.
Is it closer to 4th or 5th?
It's all the way from 4th to 5th.
All right, young man, you're going to get it now.
I'm only kidding, Bergen. It's just a scratched fender. Our dealers' GM-trained mechanics have already got it looking like new again. It's part of their quality appearance service. Shall I still meet you in the woodshed?
You drove the car without permission. It's the woodshed. And I'll see you there as soon as I phone the dealer.
Well, take your time. If you're not there in 10 minutes, I'll start without you.
Well, it seems like it all happened a long time ago. The Blackstone overpass is finished now, and 50,000 cars a day stream over and under it. People have stopped asking me if I've heard from Clara. They've stopped clucking and shaking their heads when they meet me on the street. I live a quiet and serene existence, as befits a man whom tragedy has touched, and who, furthermore, must wait another year for the big insurance payoff when his wife will be declared legally dead. Which is not, however, to say that I live a completely anchorite life. As much red blood flows in my veins as in the next fellow's, and from time to time, when I encounter some lovely creature as lonely and as spirited as I'm not above an evening of genteel misbehavior. On such occasions, I seem compelled to include the Blackstone overpass among the earlier gambits of the rendezvous. Are you acquainted with Blackstone overpass, my dear?
Acquainted with it? Well, I've driven over it once or twice.
No. You like it?
Well, yes.
Would it surprise you to know that I designed and built it?
You did?
Mm-hmm, I did.
Well, I had no idea.
Care to drive over it again with me?
Oh, my, yes.
It isn't far out of your way, really. And so I would proudly escort my lady of the evening through the sweeping cloverleafs of Blackstone Overpass, extolling to her its aesthetic and engineering virtues, reciting the liturgy of its statistics, the ever-mounting total of vehicles that rush through it daily. And always, as I swung around the gracefully steep off-ramp to the lower level, I felt a surge of pride and power as I passed by the cylindrical pillar which supported the upper level and which contained the mortal remains of my vanished wife. Sometimes I'd murmur to myself, the Clara Adams Memorial Bridge.
What'd you say, honey?
Oh, nothing. I didn't say anything. Again, it's one of those nights, and beside me is a little lady who's a real charmer.
Oh, Charlie, I just can't get over it. You building this great big bridge all by yourself?
Oh, I had a little help.
It's well, so very. Charlie, look out, that car coming towards you.
He's out of control. He's jumped the divider. The car is crushed against one of the cylindrical bridge supports, rammed against it head on. And my lady and I are jammed inside, cut and hurt. And from somewhere far away, there's a voice.
Hang on! Just hang on! Look at you out there!
Charlie, look.
What?
Look ahead. In that concrete pillar.
I looked. Just beyond the broken windshield where the impact had torn at the cylindrical bridge support. I look. And I know before I look what I'll see. There in the pebbles and the cement of the pillar. A human hand. Petrified. Mummified. Concretized. But unmistakably a human hand. Connected, I know, to the rest of a body that had once been Clara Adams.
Hang on! We're coming! We'll get you out!
But now, it doesn't make any difference whether they do or not.
Suspense.
You've been listening to Memorial Bridge, written for Suspense by William N. Robeson. In a moment, the names of our players and a word about next week's story of Suspense.
Hi, this is Dennis James with a longtime favorite. Yes, the longtime favorites are usually the best, aren't they? And one favorite folks have relied on over the years is Kellogg's All Brand. Since 1919, America's favorite natural laxative cereal. Kellogg's All Brand is the safe, gentle way to overcome irregularity caused by lack of bulk in your diet. It tastes good, too, and it never gets mushy in milk. There's only one All Brand, Kellogg's All Brand. So relieve constipation the way millions do with Kellogg's All Brand. ALL-BRAN. Yes, you're so right to stay regular with Kellogg's All Brand. Try it, okay? Okay.
Heard in tonight's story were Bob Dryden as Charlie, Charlotte Manson as Clara, Ralph Bell as Foreman, Sam Gray as Foran, and Larry Haynes as the detective. Others in the cast included Lawson Zerby, Roger DeKoven, and Pat Hosley. Listen again next week when we return with Cold Canvas by Walter Black. Another tale well calculated to keep you in
Suspense.
The Kingston Trio next, followed by latest CBS News and Have Gun Will Travel on CBS Radio.
It's intermission time at the Bah Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Good evening, Ghoulies. Hope you are all enjoying the radio show. Do turn in to Channel Watchwaddle afterward to see our new Midnight Spook Show. Until then, back to our show.
Hey everyone, Waddle from Watchwaddle here. Hope you're all enjoying today's radio show, and don't forget to check out some of Watchwaddle's tunes. So round, so firm, so fully packed with hits.
Screwy Forest's Watchwaddle Cartoons. Available on Channel Watchwaddle.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. What surprise package shall we dig for this time in our Pandora's box of fantasy foibles and farragos? A werewolf baying the moon? A restless ghost trailing icy shivers as he searches for rest? A locked door? A secret panel? A curse from centuries past? Or retribution at last claiming its victim? Or shall we just consider the most fascinating problem of all? A young girl in danger, not only of her life, but her sanity.
By heaven, there he is. Where? Down here inside the house.
Nerve of a fellow. How'd he escape?
Beyond me. Hello there! You, Ted Marshall. No place of hope for you here. Get out!
You're trespassing!
Get off these grounds or I'll put a pistol ball through you. My Harry's taken a shot at us. That does it.
Our mystery drama, The Covered Bridge, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Jada Rowland. I'll be back shortly with Act One. I don't suppose any of us who, in traveling, have unexpectedly plunged into a tunnel could have escaped the icy thought, what if I never come out of this darkness? Or more terrifying still, what if when I emerge into the light on the other side, I find myself in a different world than the one I left going in? There is nothing dark or foreboding about the tunnel Ted and Peg Marshall will drive into. It's a simple, short bridge in New Hampshire, different from other bridges only because it is a covered bridge, and because what it spans is not just a simple river, but the stream of time.
Hey, sleepyhead.
Mm-hmm.
I married a zombie. Are you with it, Peg?
I'm just cozy and sleepy.
Oh, remind me to marry a woman I don't bore the next time.
I'm not bored being married. Oh, but there was all that champagne. And it's taking so long.
Well, you picked New Hampshire for the honeymoon, and it's only twilight.
I just hope we get there soon. Where are we?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
Why? Are we lost?
Well, let's say I'm hoping we find the right turn soon. Uh-oh. Oh, look what's coming up. A covered bridge. You recognize it? Peg? Peg? Hey, Peg, don't leave me. Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Marguerite. We're almost home. Time you come back to your senses.
What?
In the name of heaven, try to grow up and behave like a woman instead of a silly, love-struck girl without a brain in her head.
It's the kind of wild terror that closes up the back of your throat and shuts off your breathing, like when you half wake from some dreadful nightmare. A moment ago, I was Peg Marshall, a newly married woman driving with my brand new husband to our honeymoon. And while I dozed off, we drove our automobile into a covered bridge, and suddenly, shockingly, somewhere on the way across, I find myself in a two-horse carriage with a strange man sitting beside me. As we come out of the roof of the covered bridge on the far side and into another world.
I asked you a question, Marguerite.
Who?
There is no need to be difficult. You may not know your own mind, but at least I hope you know your own name.
Marguerite is not my name.
Oh, really? Since when?
It's never been my name.
How fascinating. Just what do you consider your own name to be?
My name is Peg. Or if you have to be formal, it's just plain Margaret. Nothing fancy.
Well, I'm sure your father will be interested to hear that.
It wouldn't be much of a surprise since he gave it to me himself. Now, would you mind stopping this contraption and letting me out, whoever you are?
Contraption? Let you out? Oh, no, my little bird, not ever again.
I don't know what bicentennial parade you're dressed up for, or what kind of joke this is, but I don't think it's funny.
Nor do I, my dear Marguerite. Or for that matter, your father, as you'll soon find out. We are not amused, either of us. As for your father, I suggest that before you go to him to beg his forgiveness, you get out of that shameful garb, or you may kill him with the apoplexy.
What shameful garb?
Oh, now, what do you consider yourself to be? Portia, Viola, Rosalind? Have you some romantic theatrical notion you can avoid pursuit by dressing up as a boy?
Look, mister. There's some sort of mix-up here.
Yes, most assuredly is, and we've had enough play acting, so please stop it immediately. If you must refer to me as Mr., please do me the courtesy of adding my surname. Or call me Theo.
This has got to be a bad dream.
I should hope what we have lived through the past day will be just that. You've done enough harm to the Drexel name to say nothing
The Drexel name? What is that?
I think I shall leave that to your father to explain. And let us get something quite straight between us, young woman. You will not sully my name. Before I'd permit you to make Theodore Bentley a laughingstock, I'd as soon take the whip to you as I did to your fancy boy.
What fancy boy?
Your light of love, Lieutenant Edward Graham.
Lieutenant? You mean Ted? My husband?
Your would-be husband.
What have you done with him? Where's Ted?
Where he should quite properly be in the stockade. There's no question that he will be cashiered, reduced to the ranks, and...
Wait a minute. I don't make this scene at all. Are you trying to tell me that my husband, Ted Marshall, is going to get shot at and maybe killed?
Nobody is your husband yet, and nobody else is going to become that but me. You will marry me tomorrow, young lady, or by the living God, you and your family will suffer the consequences.
For the moment, I can't talk. I shut my eyes, thinking if I do, and I open them again, this dark stranger in the powdered wig, with a tri-cornered hat, the white knee breeches and riding boots will disappear. But even as I do, I know it won't be that easy. Something is out of whack. I'm on a kind of a trip I'd never dreamed of. Where am I? In what world? And most important of all, where is Ted, my husband? And then the carriage comes to a halt, and I open my eyes again. There is no miracle.
All right, Vinny. You can put the rig away and see to the horses. Oh, hello, Abigail.
Evening, Mr. Bentley, sir.
You can help Miss Drexel down and get her out of that ridiculous get-up before her father sees her.
Yes, sir, right away. Oh, come along, Miss Marguerite, dearie. We'll go upstairs and freshen up.
Who are you?
Now, don't tell me you'd turn your back on your Abby. Oh, come, dear. It wouldn't do for the rest of the servants to see you the way you are.
What are you trying to tell me?
Hush. Not in front of Mr. Theo.
All right, Abigail, I leave her to you. And you make sure she's as respectable as we can get her before she comes down to the table.
Wait a minute, I'm not going to...
Please, Miss Marguerite, for the love of heaven, don't make any more fuss now. We tried, and we lost.
Tried what? Lost what?
Inside, lovey. We can talk all secret-like soon as we're in our own little nest.
As we went up to the house, I could see that it was a great, massive place of stone and white stucco, laced with great, heavy wooden beams. A place of age and wealth. Abigail, a little bird of a woman, and I went up the stairs to what she called my room. There was a great 4-poster bed, 2 huge armoires for clothes, and a fire burning cheerily in the fireplace. In every way, in my fitted blue jeans, boots, and spaced out as I was, I couldn't have felt more out of place.
Now, the first thing to do, Miss Marguerite, is to get you out of those clothes. Wherever did you find such outlandish garb?
Never mind that for a moment, Abigail. Is that what I call you?
Oh, you know your whole life it's been plain and simple, Abby. Oh, are you all right, my little love?
Yes. No. No, I'm not all right. And I'm not your... Abby, what did you mean when you whispered to me that we tried and we lost?
Hush. If the master and that miserable Bentley man were even to suspect that I tried to help you and the lieutenant...
Help me? Us? Do what?
Why, to run away, of course, to get married. What happened, Miss Marguerite?
I don't know.
Oh, there now. Poor Lovey. You're so delicate and sensitive. It's no wonder those 2 cruel old men have got you half out of your wits.
I'm not half out of my wits, Abigail. I'm perfectly sane. The trouble with me is I'm not your Miss Marguerite. I'm someone else. Oh. Please, don't hover over me and treat me like some kind of nut.
Of what?
A weirdo. Like I'd slipped a peg or gone round the bend or... I just mean I am not losing my mind. Will you answer me some questions?
Well, of course.
First off, my name. You say it's Marguerite?
Oh, but of course.
Marguerite what? Drexel?
That's right. Marguerite Harkness, Beaulieu, Myuu, Drexel.
That's all me?
Oh, they're all family names.
I see. And I have a father. What's his name? I mean, I don't need all of them, just his first and his last name.
Well, his name is Mr. Wainwright Drexel.
No mother?
Oh, now, what are you trying to do to me, lovey? You know your sweet mother passed away not 6 months ago.
I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Theo Bentley. Who is he?
Sir Theo. You know he's here from England on some business with your father's bank, and that he asked for and was given your hand, and that you're to be married tomorrow. That's what caused all the trouble.
Because I was in love with someone else.
Oh, that darling boy. Just the husband to care for and comfort you. What happened after we'd arranged everything?
What is my darling boy's name?
Edward Marshall.
Ted?
Oh, your name for him.
What does he look like? Do you have a snap? I mean, a photograph of him? I mean, do I have
a what?
A picture.
Oh, a painting. No. You remember, you had a miniature of him, but your father took it away from you.
Oh, I'm beginning to have a big fat hate for this character.
Oh, Marguerite, he's only trying to do what's best for you, according to his lights.
One more question. What date is it?
Why, you know, it's March 16th.
Yes, Abby, that's one thing I happen to know. But you said something about King George. By the date, I mean...
Marguerite, what's this door doing locked?
Oh, Lord save us, it's your father. I was just giving Miss Marguerite a sponge bath, sir.
Oh, well, So don't be too long about it. As soon as she's dressed, I want to see that young lady in the library.
So that's my father. Big bully.
Oh, Miss Marguerite.
Never mind him for the moment. What I want to know is what year is it?
Why, the year of our good Lord, 1776.
So at last, Peg Marshall has to face a stunning, shocking, unbelievable fact. That through the cosmic accident of some time warp, in the tunnel of that covered bridge, somehow, she lost not only a brand new husband, but 2 centuries of her own identity. I'll return shortly with Act 2. What on earth would you do if you found yourself in a situation like Peg Marshall's? Can you imagine the frustration, the icy fear, the total helplessness? To be surrounded by a group of people from another day and age, every one of whom is a stranger to you, and who could only consider you stark raving mad if you insisted that you were a girl who would not even be born for nearly 200 years. Well, let's go back and see how Peg handles it.
While I was getting dressed, I tried to concentrate on what to do, which wasn't easy. First of all, I had to pretend to some maidenly modesty to get out of my modern underwear and hide my own clothes under the mattress. Then I started getting into, well, too much. Long linen drawers, a sort of linen vest thing, and then, oh, brother, the corset. Abby pulled that so tight I could hardly breathe. Then a harness with a cage of hoops hanging from it. Petticoats and petticoats. And finally, a heavy silk brocade dress. By that time, I'd made up my mind. If you can't fight them, join them. I'd go along with the scene till I figured some way out.
There we are. Now you look like your lovely self again.
Do I?
Oh, yes, Miss Marguerite. Oh, my poor little thing.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I tried to help, but now that they've stopped your elopement,
I take it Daddy was in on this, too.
Who?
Papa? I mean, Father.
Oh, naturally he was.
So that's what I call him, Father.
Of course. No lady of breeding would call her parent anything else.
Of course. And he was just as dead set against Ted, I mean the lieutenant, as my intended.
Oh, you know that. Although, in the master's defense, I don't think he could quite help himself.
In what way?
You would know that better than I. Besides, it isn't my place to go mixing in family affairs, I know, but... Oh, please, for both your sakes, don't quarrel again with the master.
Well, why should I worry about his point of view?
Oh, well, you know how the doctor has warned him not to get excited. We nearly lost him last year.
What a pity. I mean, you have to remind me of that.
Oh, I know you love him in your own way.
Okay, let's go beard Father, in his den. We went downstairs, through the great echoey hall, wainscoted part way up, the rest rough plaster with a lot of gloomy people, ancestors, I supposed, staring out of heavy, carved gilt frames on the wall. The doors were all double ones, very high, and heavy, dark wood. At one of them, Abby stopped and knocked gently.
In you go, dear.
Come with me.
Oh, no. Much better alone. Try not to upset him.
The door thudded shut, like a cell door behind me. Across the room, to one side of the fireplace, half facing me as I entered, sat a man in a big wing chair. He was a large man, tall and heavy, with a huge beak of a nose and bristling eyebrows.
Well, girl, are you going to stand at the door forever? Come over to me.
Yes, Father.
I wanted to have a word or two with you alone before dinner. You realize Theo is still here?
Oh, is he?
Not the normal run of things, of course. Night before the wedding and all that, but under the circumstances, I mean, after today, well, naturally. Now, sit down a moment.
Yes, Father.
You're a headstrong little filly, you know. Like your mother, God rest her soul. And a damn good portrait that fellow did, whatever his name was. Caught that flash in her eye. Yes, Maureen.
That was my mother's name.
Of course it was, Marguerite. It's what we're talking about.
Yes, Father.
Now, to get down to cases. You had your fling today, and I must say it was personally embarrassing to me and downright unreasonable. I hope that's over with.
What fling, Father?
Running off with that army chap. I'd have gone after you myself and stopped you if it hadn't been for this damnable gout.
Stop me from what?
Oh, Lord knows. Even if it was marriage, as the boy apparently claimed, not a penny to his name, surely you can see for yourself what a mistake it would have been. Not your sort of chap at all. I hope you're properly grateful for Theo for interfering.
I think that's just what he did. And why should I be grateful?
Easy there. One thought at a time. Theo is your fiancé. Your Edward, or whatever his name is, was lucky he didn't get hauled up for a summary court-martial. But maybe a couple of days in the guardhouse will cool the young puppy off.
Supposing I preferred to marry Edward instead of Theo.
I think we settled that between us. You know perfectly well that Theo is a splendid marriage for you to make, and the only way to save my hide. You want to see your father ruined?
I have no wish to bring anyone bad luck.
Well, then you must allow me to run my family, as is my place and right. You have no say in these matters.
I'm afraid I will have to admit, in this case, that you are perfectly right, sir.
Splendid. Well, that's my girl. Now, let's get into dinner and Theo.
Only, I wasn't his girl. Which was exactly why I had to agree. And I really had no say about this family. I really couldn't worry for the moment about Marguerite, wherever she was. My problem was myself, Peg Marshall. I needed help, and I needed it bad. But where was it going to come from? Certainly not from the two men I dined with.
Well, to your daughter, sir, and the lovely lady I am to marry within 24 hours.
I'll drink to that. To the bride.
Don't be alarmed, Marguerite.
But you broke those beautiful crystal glasses.
That's part of the traditional toast to the bride.
Aren't you both ashamed to feel that you may have to drag a woman to the altar?
Oh, I don't think that will be necessary now. Surely your father will stand trustee for that.
Then you can't trust him.
Well, your father, I think I can answer for. Until that elusive bond is tied, however, I am naturally still somewhat tentative of you, my love.
There was more to that interminable dinner, but it ended on the same note as it had begun. I did not learn much more of the whole situation by the end of it. Finally, the gentlemen retired to their port or brandy or whatever, and I was upstairs with Abby. ready to be put to bed by candlelight at the crazy hour of 9 p.m. Although I must say it was worth it to get out of that corset.
Now, into bed, and I'll tuck you in cozy.
Oh, I won't argue. Ooh, it's freezing. Oh, that lovely mattress. And I am tired. Oh, only what am I going to do, Abby?
Hush, little one. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
That's a lot of help.
Turn your back on the good book? Oh, for shame, Miss Marguerite.
I won't turn my back on anything that might help.
Remember what goes before, according to St. Matthew. Take, therefore, no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
Oh, Abby, you're such a dear person. You almost make me feel there's hope.
Oh, place your trust in the Lord, and there's always hope.
The combination of emotional exhaustion and that deep, downy bed and that sweet, loving old lady lulled me into accepting the situation. Before I knew it, I was asleep. Oh, I struggled back from layers deep, beckoned by a rooster somewhere, doing his thing. I hadn't heard one since I was a kid. And because he was far enough off, his raucous tone only brought me half awake. And suddenly, down beneath the window, all hell broke loose.
By heavens, there he is, Wainwright.
Where?
Damn near inside the house.
The nerve of the fellow. How'd he escape?
Beyond me. Hello there! You! Marshal!
You're trespassing!
Get off these grounds or I'll put a pistol ball through you! By God, that does it!
What is it, Abby? Oh, the Lord preserve us. It's your young lieutenant come to try to steal you away like a crazy man.
But where? How? I have to go to him. I went out from under the blankets to freezing cold. Abby threw some kind of robe over me as I rushed down to the lawn. Theo and the man who was supposed to be my father were there, standing over the body of a young man dressed in colonial British uniform. He was quite dead, which was enough to shock me out of my mind. But what was even more horrendous was that the body lying dead in 1776 was the man I had married the day before, in 1976.
A girl torn from her own time, hurled back 200 years. This century, or 2 centuries ago, Margaret or Marguerite, what future does either or the same girl have? I shall return shortly with Act 3. There is a lovely moment all of us have known, that magic moment between sleep and waking, when half the enjoyment is knowing you are asleep and trying to stay that way. It can also be one of the most desolate moments in life, when in the same moment of suspended animation, you are fighting not to come awake, not to face the problem you don't want to remember or wake up to, which is the moment Peg Marshall is going through this morning.
Peg, Peg, I am so sorry, but wait for me. I will come to you. Together we must find a way to make it right for you. At least for you. Wait for me, Peg. Wait.
Marguerite, Marguerite? My eyes fled around the room. She had to be here. I heard her voice so clearly. With my eyes open, I could see the sun was just rising. By the window was just the movement of a curtain in the wind. Or could I glimpse a white-clad figure melting into nothing? Marguerite, no, wait!
Are you all right, lovey? What is it?
Oh, Marguerite, I think she was here.
Who?
Her. The real Marguerite. I saw her. She went out this way.
Oh, child, control yourself.
I tell you, she was here. She spoke to me and said she would come back. And she left by this window to...
To what?
Oh, I was going to say out to the garden.
But it's a sheer 20-foot drop down to the terrace below. How could anyone step out this window?
They couldn't. Unless the person was a ghost.
Oh, there are no such things.
Oh, Abby, I know you're my friend. I wish I could explain so you'd understand.
Just try me. For whatever little I can do, I won't let you down.
Oh, how can I? There's just no way you could know what I'm going through.
I know. What can I say to you about last night?
Last night? Oh, good Lord. Ted. They shot Ted.
Hush, dear. Try to accept God's will.
No. I want to see them. I want to see his murderers.
Oh, that's a harsh word. He was a trespasser. And your father, Lord forgive me for saying this, is fighting for his own life, too.
What do you mean?
Loans he has made to these upstart colonials have put him in bad odor with the English bank.
And I'm the negotiable factor in the whole rotten mess. For my father's honor, one body sold and delivered to Sir Theobald Bentley in full settlement of payment due. And I'm not the only body.
Oh, hush, dear. These are not matters for a lady to concern herself with.
You just help me get dressed so I can face up to my father and Theo. The past and maybe, just maybe what really belongs to me. The future.
My dear Marguerite, it was neither your father nor I who brought things to a climax. It was your headstrong young suitor.
How civilized you managed to sound. You're talking about a man you murdered.
Oh, now I say, really. The beggar was trespassing. And he was an escaped jailbird.
Oh, come on. Face the truth. Ted... The lieutenant hadn't committed any crime.
Oh, that, of course, is a matter of opinion.
Oh, no, Mr. Bentley. That was surely a matter of influence.
Really, Marguerite? I see no point in pursuing this conversation.
I guess I really don't either. No way we could ever reach an understanding.
Oh, I'm afraid the understanding has already been reached. A marriage has been arranged and will be sanctified at 5 this evening. Or else.
Supposing I told you to go shove your threats in your hat.
Marguerite, in the
Let
name
me
of...
handle this, Wainwright. Am I to understand that you were threatening to refuse me as a husband, Marguerite?
When you talk to me as Marguerite, I don't know.
How else would he talk to you? Go to your room, daughter, and make yourself ready for the wedding. For by my soul, you will be at the altar if I have to drag you there in chains.
Oh, that won't be necessary. I shall drive her myself to our wedding. And if she refuses, she knows what the consequences will be. Wainwright, I'll break you.
I was scared. I was no sooner in my room than the lock fell. Even Abby, it seemed, was to be denied me. And already, as if it was a threat, my wedding gown was laid out on the bed. I fell apart, head down on a chaise longue, lost in tears.
Peg. Peg. There isn't much time left.
Who is it? Where are you?
It's Marguerite, Peg. Come here. Come quickly.
Where?
To the pier glass, the oval mirror.
I crossed quickly to the old-fashioned mirror, expecting to see my own reflection. In a sense, I did. I saw myself. Every line in my face, every curl in my hair, every familiar look of myself reflected, except that the figure in the glass was dressed, as I could see after a quick glance at the now empty bed, in the white silk gown and the long bridal veil that had been laid out for me to put on.
I promised I would come.
But so late. Too late.
Not for you, I hope. And at long last, not for me.
Help me, Marguerite. What happened?
That's beyond me. But everything else I can explain quickly. You know most of it by now.
Yes, but...
No, there's no time to waste. First, you must get out of your clothes and back into your modern ones.
How could you know about them?
I have been dead a long time, but not allowed to lie in the grave. Oh, quickly now, change, and I shall tell you. As you already know, my father was in financial difficulties, so Theobald was sent from England to close him out, to expose him to ruin and disgrace. As you have guessed, an accommodation was made between my father and Sophia.
That old goat.
That's the way I felt about him. Save in my time, it was different. I did have a duty to my father.
What do you mean, in your time? You're here now.
Oh, you know that isn't so. What am I? A reflection in a dark glass, a wandering spirit that you may bring to rest.
Me? How?
I know very few answers. Why you are here? An accident of time, and perhaps I have to believe that somehow we have common ancestors. The day before I was supposed to be married to Sir Theobald, I stole from the house and fled to meet Edward. We might have been married and happy if Theo hadn't found out from one of the grooms he had paid to spy on me.
I can see the rest. The establishment rolled in and dragged you home.
Yes. The next day, poor Edward made his foolish but wonderful attempt to rescue me.
And got killed for his pains. But then what?
What is about to happen to you? Theo drove me to the wedding, a pistol by his side. I was dressed as you see me in the mirror now. As we got to the covered bridge, just before we entered...
Yeah?
I pulled away from him and threw myself down into the stream. It's not so deep, but it is rocky, and I did what I wanted to do. I killed myself.
You poor girl.
And I've been doomed to wander all these years, unable to join my love, Edward. But now, I think at last, my time has come.
How?
With you. This time, if I kill myself, it will not be a sin because I can save you. Now, let's change places.
I don't know what you mean.
Me, in the wedding gown, looking into the mirror. You, in your modern jeans, looking out. As we ride to this wedding that never took place 200 years ago, we ride as one. But this time, it's my soul that will find escape.
What about me?
I don't know. It's a chance you'll have to take, but what better one do you face now?
So it was that under thunderclouds and dark scudding skies, Theo helped his bride to the two-horse carriage, unaware that with her there was me, in blue jeans. Overhead, the skies were almost sitting on our heads, heavy with the promise of a storm.
Well, my love, what with one thing and another, not the most auspicious occasion for our wedding. Or may I hope you will contradict me?
Our fate is sealed, at least yours. You have achieved what you wanted to. Let us leave it at that.
No, not quite. The ridiculous child love you had for the young pup who is disposed of, I would like some guarantee that it will not come between us.
Round the bend and down the hill is the covered bridge.
Oh, yes, that's right.
By the time we reach it, I hope to answer your question forever. But why is it so dark?
It's like a storm on the way. Hey, hip, the I hope we can reach the church before it breaks.
There's the bridge.
Now, don't press against me. It's a narrow tunnel, and I need room to maneuver.
Look, at the opposite end, through the mist, those two enormous eyes. What are they?
I don't know. I can't see.
There's something coming towards us. We're going to crash. It's what you deserve, but not me. Not me.
Peg, you all right?
What?
I said, are you all right?
Did we crash?
Into what?
Well, there was a horse and carriage coming the other way, and...
Come on, honey, you were out cold. You're dreaming.
Am I? Are you sure?
Well, sure, I'm sure. The one thing I wish I was so sure of is where I'm at. I'm pretty low on gas. Well, we better find an open station soon.
Yes, sir. You was just about empty. Good thing I stay open this late.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, and thanks for putting us on our way.
Oh, that's no trouble, no trouble. One of the things I'm here for.
Could I ask you something, sir?
I reckon I couldn't fuse a lady.
You ever hear of some people called Drexel around here?
Ah, now, Drexel is a right proper name this part of the country. Goes back a couple of centuries or more. Old Manor House used to be here until shortly after the war. Then it became a hospital, burned down a couple of years ago. Sad to see it go. Kind of used to be a landmark, eh? Yeah, that's a funny thing. Come to think on it.
What was that?
Well, you must come over the covered bridge on your way here.
Oh, yes. We sure did.
Oh, a lot of excitement up there just after you came by. You might heard the police car, ambulance and all.
Why? What happened?
Well, sir, they found a lady. Committed suicide, they say. All dressed up like colonial times in a long silk wedding dress and veil. Strange thing is, nobody knows where she come from. Except in,
Except in what?
Oh, well now, ain't nothing to put any belief in. But there is an old legend round these here parts about the White Lady of the Bridge. Misty night she's supposed to haunt that old covered wreck. Well, who knows? Maybe now they'll fix that old bridge up. And another New Hampshire ghost will be laid to rest.
Another New Hampshire ghost. Certainly not for Peg Marshall. In a long and happy marriage to Ted Marshall, it is perhaps the one thing she never could quite share with him. Oh, of course, she's told him the story, but he just laughs it off because she was sound asleep when they entered that covered bridge and didn't wake up till they came out the other side. What happened in between? For Ted, nothing. For Peg, a nightmare. But then, in a moment of dreaming, anyone can live a lifetime. I'll be back shortly. It was many years later that Peg Marshall discovered, almost accidentally, that a long-dead ancestor was named Lady Exeter, who happened to be the sister of Marguerite Drexel. But by the time Peg found that out, she was too happily established as a mother and too infinitely wise to speculate on that old chance family tie. As for Marguerite, one can only hope that somewhere she rests in peace. Our cast included Jada Rowland, Bob Caliban, Ian Martin, and Bryna Rayburn. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.